Hey you guys, what's up? I am going to break down a pose today called mountain pose, also known as earth pose, or just simply a standing pose. This pose, we're gonna find its alignment as far as we teach it, and then I'm gonna loosen it up and move it into a seaweed sway. So at the top of your mat or anywhere on your mat, you can take your feet as wide as your hips. Sometimes a little wider feels nice. I'm always a little bit wider than my hips. And yeah, just kind of play with what feels the most stable. And then I want you to just shift the weight forward into the paw of the foot. And you can even play with that, like going back and forth a couple of times, just sort of rocking on the foot. Bring your awareness to the sensation on the paw of the foot, the toe pads and mounds. And then as you kind of rock forward into the paw, hang out there, and feel your toes sort of start to snuggle into the ground a little bit. So that's like a big toe button pressed down with a subtle hook back, and the toes land down to the mat. The heel can be light. You know, it can have like a little spring bounce to it. And then we're gonna bend the knees just a tiny little bit, you know, so that they're not like locked out, but we're letting them be in their most happy kind of supported place that is a little bit springy, a little bit bent. The hips, we want to have soft groins. So again, working with that, not a tuck, so the opposite of a tuck. We're going to hollow into the groin, so creating little pockets in the groins. And you can take your hands to your bum, grab low, and just like guide the glutes wide and up towards your sacrum. And just sort of like, I'm a big advocate of grabbing your butt and pulling it up, because our tissues, our fascia will change to the movements that we give it. So literally by like pulling your butt up, you're going to start to teach your glutes to lift up, to form your fascia to that rising, mounding glute, which is what we want. So the little pockets in the groins, glutes mounding up and wide to the sides. We want to keep the belly nice and long, soft, open. And then you want to fill into the ribs wide on all sides. Again, that radiant heart. The hands can just sort of be by your side. You can think about the shoulders here. The shoulders just ever so, it's like they're almost like floating, lifting up and out to the sides. The arms can just be forward, and instead of the elbows like kind of elbow eyes going forward, we can widen them to the side. And this is also going to help to inform, so this like rotation of the elbow wide can inform the broadening of the back, so that the shoulder blades, you'll kind of notice that. If you look, instead of like this, where, you know, that would be kind of pulling the shoulders back onto the back, we can externally rotate the elbows forward. And that creates an opportunity for there to be space and openness on the back of the heart between the shoulder blades, where the thoracic spine wants to find its curve. So toes gripping, paw, more weight in the paw of the foot, light heel, gentle bend into the knees, hips slightly back, glutes wide and mounding up behind you. A little dip in the lumbar spine mirrors the length of the belly. The ribs wide on all sides, a circumferential expansion from the inside out. The elbows can externally rotate forward so that we further inform the back. Lift the chin, lengthen through the neck, which mirrors the back of the spine, the cervical spine. There's an upward rising energy that the crown is lifting up, the heart is rising up as the hips root back and wide. And so it's an open posture, and it can be springy if you want. You can pulse in it. And as you pulse, the knees would move forward and up and energetically resist wide. As well, we can connect into the paw. Paw presses down and out to the side. And we want to sit the hips back. So instead of like tucking into a knee bend, we want to glide the hips back like you're going to sit into a chair. Maintaining the hollows in the groins, the length of the belly, the fullness of the heart. So this is mountain pose, and you can kind of sway in it. And sometimes we really soften it into like a swagger sway where we just loosen. We maintain a gentle bend into the knees. Always, our joints love little bends. And notice if your toes start to twinkle as you move. You can ground them down. Yeah, and this can get a little bit more dynamic. Move away from my mirror so I don't knock it down. And you can just kind of like get free, you know? Let your body move you. So form to formless. Yeah, and this mountain pose or earth pose or a standing pose, whatever you want to call it, it's got a lot of cool, it's just basically finding your alignment. It's finding this open posture that is present and there and connected and ready to move. Okay, my loves, that's it. Love you.